I am so happy with how this looks for the Rangers. We have a pitcher, Jack Leiter, and he is a dude.
And while I do think his hitting is worse than Derek Jeter, it's not that far off.
You're not mentioning 2006. You can mention the other people, not 2006.
Oh, just because I bought the best soap doesn't mean your room's going to be clean. It just leaves it to where I don't believe that the Canadians had a shot.
I really don't like the Clippers just kind of sending it in when they're like...
Hi, this is Kelly Forbes with the Dallas Stars, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NHL Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin. I'm joined by the man that I'm sure you're pretty happy with how this is going. We got a lot of close series so far besides Toronto and Ottawa, as that's 3-1. But every West is all tied except Winnipeg and St. Louis, and then Lakers, Edmonton, or not Lakers, Kings, Edmonton, Austin.
Yeah, these series have been interesting. There's a lot of really close games. I mean, you go Toronto Senators, let's start off with that. They won on as a recording, they won on a overtime goal to not get swept by the Maple Leafs. But the two games before that, right, were both won 3-2 in overtime by the Maple Leafs. So this series is extremely close. The last three games have gone to overtime. This kind of reminds me, if the Maple Leafs had won last night, then I would have definitely thought that this was a series very similar to that of Vegas and the Kings in 2018, where the Kings lost, but basically they lost by one goal every game. And that's kind of, the Senators are so close. I mean, Linus Ullmark played amazing last night, and if they're going to come back from down 3-0, they're going to need him. But a lot of these series are really close. The Stars have been down going into the third period in every game, and they're tied 2-2, so that their ability to come back and win games has been huge. The Wilds have played really well. The Vegas did tie up the series. The Devils are down one game. I think they're down 2-1 the series as we're recording.
Yeah,
it's been a very close. There's been no sweeps. There's going to be no sweeps in the first round, and that's kind of what you expect from the NHL, right? Is no sweeps. As we're recording right now, the Blues are up 5-1 in Game 4, so it looks like they're going to tie that series. And the Blues have looked like the better team in the majority of the games. I remember I thought they were going to win Game 1, but Winnipeg came back and obviously took the lead, and then the Blues weren't able to capitalize off of that. But Bennington's played well. Hellebuck's struggled again in the postseason, and we'll see if they can turn around. They still have home ice advantage, so it's far from over. But the Winnipeg was up 1-0 in this game, and then the Blues scored 5 straight.
Yeah, I believe Hellebuck was pulled in this game as we are recording. And that was something kind of with the NHL playoffs. I did have fun telling one of my friends who they don't really watch hockey. I was like, hey, the Stars have not led for more than like 2 minutes. I think 2 minutes is around the time they've led. And I'm like, but they're winning the series 2-1. They're just like, what? And I'm like, well, it went to overtime and you just win and there's no time leading. So I think with the Stars, what you and I were talking about before, you need Miro back, and I do think Robertson would help too. But it's mostly their defense, and I know they pulled Otter, but it's just tough. That shorthanded goal really hurt them because I was catching bits and pieces. I was busy that yesterday, but I saw it just like hardly fell, and then they got a straight shot, a 1-on-1, and yeah, we'll have to see, but I think given where they're at, that's pretty nice for them, but it is going to be a tough series. And then kind of thinking about Winnipeg and the Blues most likely are going to tie it, well, unless something crazy happens. Because there's 6 minutes left to go in the third. They're up 5-1. It's shocking to me how 2-0 does not seem as dangerous to me in the NHL versus the NBA.
True, but I think it's also because of how close these series have been. It's extremely, extremely tough to beat teams, or just to say that the game is over. Right? It's very hard just for stuff like that to happen because these teams are so close. And then when it comes down to it, just one bounce here or there can really switch the sway of the game, and that doesn't really happen in the NBA. There can't be a one play. One play matters a lot more in the NHL than it does in the NBA, right? Because if you get even a run in the NBA, it's really hard to come back if you're the other team. But in the NHL, it's been extremely close, and I'm excited to see how many series go the distance. I think a good bit of them will get probably 2 or 3 7 games series in the first round. The ones that I really think will get there, probably Colorado Stars, even though what worries me about the Stars is they've been down basically the entire series. And I know they're tied right now in it, but their decors looked really bad. You said that Miro is probably going to come back in Game 5, right?
Yeah, that would be my guess. I think that Game 2 win was huge because I think they let him get some time back. It was like they're not going to rush him, but I think with how this is going, he's going to get ice time with Game 5. Because he's been skating and practicing, but I think it was just like, okay, they're up 2-1. Or, well, it's tied 1-1, so we'll just wait till Game 5. I think that was the decision made. And, like, they're slowly getting him up, but now I think they're like, okay, now we need him. Because I don't think you'll see him have insane ice time like we're used to Miro, but I do think he'll be on the decor.
Yeah, and every series has been a 2-1 besides the Senators series, and the Senators ended up making it to where it wasn't a sweep. But every series in the West looks like it could go the distance. I mean, these teams, like I said, are so close that and that's what we love about the NHL playoffs. Is there any team that you're worried about that's not one of the ones we've already mentioned?
I don't know if I'm worried about a team. I am curious with Florida-Tampa because that's a big series for us. I saw Florida was up 2-0, and I was like, oh, that's nice. But I think I'm just I've been telling people the NHL playoff OT, I think, is just the perfect overtime.
Yeah, I completely agree.
You just can't replicate it. It's amazing.
I think you could replicate it in some other sports, but because I like in soccer or whatever, but they don't have golden goal in the majority of tournaments, right? So it's hard to replicate. And then if you're looking like in baseball, there's something similar, but it's just not the same because the home team has such an advantage when it comes to extra innings. And then obviously football, they tried to do it, but their overtime still is just a different sport, right? But the NHL's it's obviously my favorite team's not in it this year, but you can't replicate the stress that is NHL overtime.
It's just perfect, I think. And kind of, I've been thinking about home. I think that 2-0 when the home team, like when it's not near home ice, because that's what we saw with Winnipeg and the Blues. Stars last year somehow got out of it when they lost 2 straight at home, but then you have to win 2 straight at home. Just the level that home ice brings and just kind of that impact. And it's not really, I know there is that strategy of you have the final change if you're the home team with the lines. But I think it is really just the energy that being on home ice provides. And I think you're seeing that most notably in St. Louis because they've dominated. They've scored. The past 2 games have been incredible offensively for the Jets and Blues.
Well, mainly for the Blues, but yeah.
Yeah, for the Blues, but yeah, in that series. The
Yeah.
Blues offense has really stepped up, so we'll have to see. But yeah. Any other series you're thinking about?
I mean, they're all so close. I not really though. I think that most of the series I think are going in a similar way that I expect, but it's going to take. It's probably going to take the majority of the series are probably at least going to go 6 games. I find and that's because most of the series are tied 2-2. But even the ones that are 2-1 right now, I think that it'll at least go because it's going to be hard to shut down McDavid in 3 straight games, right? Or 2 straight games if you're right now. So it's, and I still like the Canadians. I think that because of their experience they've had in the postseason before, I do think that is something that is helping them this time around. Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, they all have experience in the playoffs. And so even though they're down 2-1 in the series, I still think they have a good chance. The Devils, they've had some injuries, but they still can pull through. It's just it's a grit and grind type of situation that a lot of these teams are in, but again, it's one of the best times in sports.
Yeah, I agree. It's truly amazing. So yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.